is Operanthesis, and I'm here with a book review. I have already started reading a book that my friend Alexei has given me, so thank you very much. But this is a Star Wars book. I have it on Russian, but it doesn't really matter for this review. And I'll talk about it, and I will tell the differences that this book has to the movies, and basically discuss how good it describes the story. This is episode 3, Revenge of the Sith, written by Mathew Stouwar, based on the film by George Lucas. So, what I wanted to say, first of all, is that this book has a lot of philosophy in it. It really goes deep into philosophical issues and different matters. It is very deep, it is very sort of emotional, and it succeeds and is even more dramatical than the movie was. It really tells you what the characters are thinking at what point of the story. It tells you the experience of Darth Vader's transformation into the suit. It tells you the pain, everything, and it is described so well that I think this is a masterpiece, just as the movie is. However, now going on to the negatives, I would like to say something. This book really is boring at action sequences. I don't blame the author. I'm a sort of a writer, and for me it's very hard to make the action as incredible as it is in the films. But this book really succeeds with all the dialogue, the philosophy, the thoughts, but when it comes to chases, lightsaber duels, or anything like that, it is very slow and I would even say boring to read. However, this book has a lot of additional scenes which were not in the movie. Some of them are deleted scenes and some of them are simply scenes the author thought of. But I would like to give a few details. In the start of this book, it talks about how General Grievous captured Palpatine and how he told the entire city of Coruscant about what has happened through sort of a hologram message. Then there is this scene before the Jedi arrive on General Grievous's ship, the Invisible Hand, where basically Palpatine and Dooku talk to each other about what is going to happen. We are told that he is basically Darth Sidious, but we are not told that Darth Sidious is Palpatine until the end of the first chapter. So basically Dooku and Palpatine are talking about their plans for the future. Palpatine assures Dooku that Dooku will become his main helper when the Empire time will come. He gives him a completely different explanation of what will happen as to the one that will actually happen, where Anakin will kill him. He says that basically Dooku and Palpatine need to pretend that Anakin has captured them, basically, and I don't really remember, but it's interesting how Palpatine lies to Dooku to make everything seem to Dooku like he was the big part, when actually Anakin was supposed to play the big part in the story. There are also additional scenes of Mace Windu talking to Obi-Wan about who do they... remember how Dooku told Obi-Wan that Darth Sidious was controlling the Senate? They were talking about who might be this Darth Sidious. They mentioned Mas Amida, who is sort of involved because he knows Palpatine's secret identity. And when it came to Palpatine, Mace Windu actually said why he doesn't think that it is Palpatine, because Mace Windu says that Palpatine already has a lot of power, and why would he need more of it? He is literally like controlling everything. There are also countless scenes of Padme meeting with other senators and discussing the Chancellor's moves, as most of the Senate now doesn't trust Palpatine as to how he manipulated the Senate into giving him emergency powers. They think that he is enjoying his power too much and that he needs, after the war is over, he needs to step down. That is why Bail Organa and other senators go on secret meetings, Padme being one of them, and Anakin, very jealous of the fact that Padme talks to Obi-Wan and is very personal with him, and also there's this scene I remember when Anakin goes to the couch in Padme's apartment and smells the smell of the soup, which Obi-Wan has an allergy on and he doesn't eat. And that's when he figures out that someone else was in the room, and that were the senators. So, and there are a lot of scenes where Palpatine sort of also manipulates Anakin's trust. And it is revealed that Obi-Wan knew all along that Anakin had a relationship with Padme. Just tried to hide this so that the rest of the council couldn't really notice it. This book came out I think after sort of Revenge of the Sith and a few animated series and everything, and it mentions a lot of characters that were not in the movie. Like in the beginning when Obi-Wan is talking to Anakin or Obi-Wan, I don't remember, mentions fighting Asajj Ventress, who is a character from the Clone Wars animated show. There are also a lot of great descriptions, such as of Count Dooku's thought on being himself, like the Sith, but also sort of he was a Jedi and he's sort of torn apart a bit, but yeah. Then in the second chapter it is revealed that Palpatine is Sidious, and I love how it's revealed. It's basically like it says, "Go away, they're coming," said Palpatine. Yes. In the chair was sitting the Chancellor of the Galactic Republic, Lord Sidious. And I love this reveal. Also, I love how it describes Grievous as being some kind of a creature before he became the cyborg, and how so little of his actual real sort of persona was left inside him. When Darth Vader basically becomes this, how do you say it, this monster in the suit, it is described how he hears through special things in sort of connecting his ears, and he hears everything in a very different robotic tone, how he sees very strangely, how he breathes sort of specially, how his lungs are connected, and how all the food is going up into his mouth through his body from the suit. And it's incredible how they describe Anakin understanding the trap that Sidious could not actually save Padme from death. He was just manipulating him. A lot of things here are much darker than they were in the original movie, such as the death of the Jedi when Mace Windu took them to arrest the Chancellor. And I also love how Palpatine at first was trying to sort of hide the fact that he's Sidious, but slowly going to it. And because Sassy Teen was a telepath, Palpatine is like, "Do you know what I'm thinking of right now, Master Teen?" And when Stacey sort of starts this telepathic connection, that's when Palpatine jumps and cuts off his head. Then there's the battle. Then there's a lot, and Anakin's turn isn't like instant. He just doesn't say like he was in the film, like I pledge myself to your teachings. He is actually at first very reluctant, but in time Palpatine sort of moves him into another thought. There's a lot of other differences. One of them being General Grievous sending the Separatist Council to Mustafar much earlier. He sends them like right after he talks to Sidious, when in the movie they were sent just before Kenobi fought with Grievous. Also, Sidious, when he talks to Grievous for a hologram, mentions the Jarek, which is the game that that Chewbacca and R2-D2 played in A New Hope on the Millennium Falcon. So overall, this is a great book. It has a lot of conflicts. It shows the mistrust of Jedi towards both the Chancellor and Anakin. This book is fantastic. I give it a 9 out of 10. 9 only because of the boring action sequences.